Hello, my beautiful, wonderful people, and welcome back to the Essence of Greatness, the greatest podcast to ever exist. Two greatest mock GMs. Jared, how are we doing today?
Doing great. This wonderful Saturday.
Absolutely, man. It's the All Star break right now, so it's sad that there's no Hawks basketball on TV. But we get to watch Trae Young tomorrow do his thing, and that will lead perfectly right into our first topic. We're going to be talking about, we got to talk about the Atlanta Hawks because as of now, they've underperformed everybody's expectations, or at least Atlanta fans' expectations. Um, so we got to talk about it. What's up? What's wrong? How can they fix it? How are they looking so far?
As far as fixing it or what the frick's going on, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what we're doing wrong. I mean, obviously, look at it, it's probably defense still. Um, I don't know how that's the problem, but it just seems to be every time I look at the score, we give up 160 points, and it's like that's just not healthy.
Yes, it's there's no like point of attack defense. I think is the
Yes.
biggest thing right now. Like DeAndre Hunter, the idea of him is really good, and he has games where he's really good. But as of now, he's too inconsistent to be considered a shutdown stopper. And there's nobody else in the starting lineup that can really cover for him.
And I feel like I look at the games where it's like, oh, we held them to 106 when he put up like 93. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah,
It's like you gotta play both sides of the ball perfectly. You
that's
can't.
that's the other big thing is they're so Trey centric that there's not another like there's not a secondary creator. Like
Mhm.
Bogey, that was part of the reason I think that the Hawks went on that great run last year was Bogey went absolutely nuclear for the second half of the season, and he's not doing it this year. Not yet, at least. He's starting to work his way back in to midseason form, but he is still averaging 13 points on 11 shots. So, it's one of those things. So I guess I'll before we get back to like the whole roster discussion, what do you how do you feel about the Hawks deadline?
I mean, I said this in the last video. Or, was it the last video? Yeah, whatever deadline video we had, and I just don't see what move you possibly could have made at that time
Mm-hmm.
that really would have benefited the team. So
So obviously the only one I'm gonna say Derek White because I was in on Derek White
that
from the
makes
beginning,
sense.
and he seemed relatively affordable. And I've seen a few Hawks fans say that we should have gone Karis LeVert
Did he get
from
hurt?
Indy. He tends to get hurt, unfortunately. Yes, but it's more of their ideal was he'd be a secondary creator for the team. I don't know. Looking at what they gave up, it's sort of like you can take it or leave it at that point because
Yeah.
Karis LeVert is really just a slightly more athletic bogey, except bogey's a better jump shooter. So
Yes.
I don't think that was a consequential move. I think Derek White was the only guy that was really moved. Maybe Josh Richardson, who was moved in I think that same deal. But I mean, it's one of those things like Boston wasn't really selling, so getting like Marcus Smart or Josh Richardson wouldn't have actually really helped us. So the only one was really either Derek White or Thaddeus Young. But they both required first round picks. And I think Schlenk kind of took a look around and said, I'm not willing to give up this much for people that I don't think is going to make that big of a difference.
100%.
Because also, when you look at the East is insanely deep this year.
Oh, it's stacked. Deep.
Yeah. We're not used to that. It's usually like the top 3-4 teams are good, and then
And
everybody
then
else
it's
is just like, yeah, they're just fighting for a second round exit. But
right.
now it's like the top six, feasibly top seven, all have a
Yeah,
legitimate chance to win a 7 game series against the other.
it's crazy.
So
It
I
totally
think
flipped.
that's I think that's the biggest. That's one of the bigger things facing the Hawks is they're suddenly in the middle of a bunch of teams who actually want to win, as opposed to teams stuck in purgatory or teams that are tanking. Like there's only like two or three in
Mhm.
the East that are actively trying to lose games right now.
Yeah, I mean it totally flipped. I think that also throws you off when you look at a season where the Hawks were, last year they were dominant, and it's because they got a chance to go play all these dookie teams, and now they're actually having to.
Yeah.
And Trey said it himself. He said, we weren't we weren't playing as hard because we
Yeah.
want it's not the playoffs, and
Yeah.
they got to fix that. That's
Yeah. I
funny.
think I'm going to bring up a quote too. I read an article about a week ago. Chris Kirschner, the beat writer for the Athletic for the Hawks, did an interview with Clint Capella, and Capella was very candid about how like some guys came in this year kind of thinking we were going to make the playoffs no matter what. They kind of
Mm-hmm.
expected it. They won last year, so therefore they've already won this year. I think really what we're seeing is we're seeing a young team that kind of jumped ahead of schedule now
Yep.
kind of be snapped back to reality, to quote the great Marshall Mathers. Um, so I think it's let's put the cards on the table here and let's make it clear. We can't sell on this team.
No,
Like this isn't the end of the Trae Young era.
no, this is an amazing team still.
Yeah, this team is still incredibly deep. They really just I think needed a year to get their perspective back
Yes.
because they went on a hot run last year and it really helped. And then I think looking back, looking at the playoffs, that playoff run is one of the best things I've ever experienced. But at the same time, you have to take into account. I think the Knicks were playing way above their head.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Julius Randle really started this year's decline against the Hawks in the playoffs.
He's so bad.
Um, the Sixers were kind of at the peak of the tension between Ben Simmons and everybody else, and Embiid was on a torn meniscus. So
Yeah,
it beating them, especially on their home floor as many times as we did, is still an incredible accomplishment. But there is that slight asterisk there. So I
of
think
course,
this season has really been good, actually been good for the Hawks because it's kind of shown them you got to do the work day in and day out.
of course, of course. I can't disagree there at all. I think watching that playoff run was probably the best thing I've experienced, other than my Atlanta Braves World Championship in the
Oh yeah,
Jordan
well
Natty.
I said
Yeah,
that's
that's
obvious, but
as far as basketball goes. That's probably the greatest thing I've seen.
yeah, Trump 2014-15 because I felt like we actually had a chance against the Bucks
Yeah,
as opposed to that team going up against LeBron. We were like, well, boys, it's been fun.
don't remind
Just
me.
take one.
Don't
But
remind
anyway,
me.
so looking ahead to the rest of this season, where do you think the Hawks end up by the end of the year?
Um, I think you got to turn it around. I think obviously, I think there needs to be like a couple team meetings over the break. Someone's got to say something because this team should definitely be higher than a 10 seed right now. Two
Yeah,
games under 500. This team should easily be 4-5-3 seed right now. Somewhere up there. Um, so someone's got to say something, turn the team around, and show up Thursday night against the Bulls and ready to get freaking rolling. But I think
yeah,
realistically, I think we climb to the 7 or 8, 6 if we're lucky. Um, I would see us
yeah.
moving up a couple spots.
That's
I'd
it.
hope.
The only issue with going up to 6 is we're 5 games back, and that's of the Celtics, and the Celtics have been on fire.
Yeah, they just did lose.
And yeah, but they beat us, so
That is
you
true.
got to take that into consideration. But I, I think the best we can get to is the 8 seed because as of now we're 2.5 games back. Although that's Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is just starting to kind of get back to where they need to be
Mm-hmm.
because once Kevin comes back, obviously I think they shoot to the top of everybody's threat list. And with the way that some of these COVID restrictions are being lifted, there's a non-zero chance that New York takes away the COVID vaccine mandate. Who knows? We'll see. It's New York. They do crazy stuff. But I will say, I don't think that the Hawks are really in danger of falling out of the top 10 because the only team behind us that's a legitimate threat in my mind is Washington, which they're not really a threat because Bradley Beal's out for the year now.
Yes.
But I'm not, the Knicks are 3.5 games back, and there's in no way am I worried about the New York Knicks.
Neither am I.
um, so I think we'll overtake the Hornets. I think if we can get to the 8 seed, that'd be very nice. And I mean, I still think that if this team can put it all together, it's the one team towards the bottom of the standings out of the Hawks and the Hornets and, potentially the Raptors and Celtics, I would not want to see the Hawks in a 7-game series
Oh, agreed. I would love to go
because
up against the Cavs in a 7-game series.
yeah, yeah, because that's for sure. Because I don't want to rank because what the Cavs have done this year is awesome, but the Cavs kind of give me 2014, 15 Hawks vibes
Yes, they're
because
gonna they're gonna find somewhere.
they're not they don't have that guy. Like
Yeah,
Darius Garland is a very good player,
but he's
but I
not
don't think
that guy.
yeah, I don't think he can go out and get you a bucket in the fourth quarter. And Evan Mobley is most definitely not there yet.
You want to know who they do have though?
Hmm.
They got that boy Brandon Goodwin.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's what the Hawks are missing this year. Is they're missing
Brandon
Brandon
Goodwin.
Goodwin on the bench.
I agree.
They shouldn't have traded out Sharif Cooper for him. I think that was a
No.
anyway. So the only other thing is, at what do you think we see the rookies at all this year?
Nah,
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because again, the Hawks fans I see on Twitter are
they're begging.
Nate McMillan because he's not playing the makes sense to this day.
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
don't I don't get what playing for all 20-year-olds helps your team.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
Okay, I get the idea incredibly appealing, but he is nowhere near that finished product just yet.
Of course, 100% agreed.
And yeah, I think you get a very, very intriguing piece if he continues to develop. But I don't I think keeping him in the G League is the best. Oh, so we're both agreed the Hawks are making the playoffs. Who are we looking? Who do you think is going to have a crazy good second half? Like who do you want to see break out,
I want to see Kevin Herter step up a little more. He's had a great season.
quote
I want to see
unquote?
him keep it up. I want to see Kevin have a great
Say
second
it
half.
again.
Kevin
Kevin,
Herter. Kevin.
Kayvon,
I want to see Kayvon play an even
Kayvon,
greater
my
second
man.
half.
And so the crazy part for me about Kayvon is he's such a clean shooter, and yet I feel like he's almost performing what he could be doing, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me a second. All right, because he's only shooting like 37% from the field, even though he's got the cleanest release on the team. 37% from three. Sorry, he's shooting 46% from the field. He's very efficient inside the arc.
Oh, he's great inside the arc.
See, I'm gonna be honest. The guy that I'm looking towards is John Collins because I keep waiting for Nate McMillan to finally integrate his second best player into
Mm-hmm.
the offense more, and yet it just continues to be he scores on mismatched post ups,
Yep.
lobs, and putbacks.
I miss those watching us run that playoff series last year and how we ran the offense was just the offense
Yeah,
last year was too good in the playoffs. I want that back.
yeah. I think it's right there. I just think it almost sometimes seems to be an aspect of everybody on the team is. I don't know if it's they're willing to or if Trey is demanding it, but they all kind of just wait for Trey to do something incredible,
Yeah,
which is the issue you tend to have with superstars.
true. It's
But
very true.
I want to see Collins featured more because Collins he is such a coordinated finisher around the rim. He's a legitimately plus 3-point shooter, and I feel like he's going underutilized on that end, and I'm percent sure why.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And I think Clint Capella needs to step his game up too. I think that's the other big one.
Simple answer. Start OO.
I don't think OO is there just yet.
He's the GOAT.
I don't know, man. Fouling out in 17 minutes is quite the accomplishment.
Oh, that's great.
I
That's
that is
great.
incredible that he was able to do it. But I mean, I think he's great in his current role as a spark plug off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clint's going to have to. He's got the rebounding. He's always been a good rebounder, but he is the reason the Hawks were good in the run last year was Clint Capella was playing defensive player of the year levels, and
Oh,
now he's just merely above average. I think that's an issue for the team because there's nobody else on the team that is really, you know, truly a great defender.
yeah, that's very true.
So anyway, that's where we're at. Hawks probably going to make the playoffs. See how
Definitely.
that goes. But you know what? They've got time to refocus. And plus, we still have a ton of assets. If we get to the offseason and a superstar becomes available through trade, Schlink has the war chest. We still have the pieces for a move. So that's always there if Schlink feels it's necessary.
100%.
There we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic, which will probably be a little bit more in depth. We're going to be talking about free agency because the NFL season is over. And so now the fan bases for the other 30 franchises can finally move on with their lives and stop pretending like they care about who won between the Rams and the Bengals. Now we get to look at what our Atlanta Falcons can do over the offseason. So I think what we should do, Jared, is we should start with Atlanta's free agents that are coming up and
Okay.
kind of do a quick breakdown or look at them and then look for some other free agents outside of the organization that you would like to see targeted.
Got you. I got you. I'm down for that.
All right. So, first of all, good riddance, Dante Fowler. Don't ever step foot in the city again.
Gone.
The fact that man stole $25 to $30 million from the squad is incredible. Anyway, got that off my chest. So, looking at their list, have you had a chance to look it over?
I'm looking at it right now.
All right. Who do you think is the number one priority if we're bringing people back?
Bringing people back, it's got to be Foye. 100%. Foye
Okay.
Luka, number one. You can't. The thing is, unless you're going to keep Dion, which I don't see them keeping Dion, I mean, they could, but you can save so much money by getting rid of him. I think either way, you've got to have Foye back because in my mind, he's just too good. And he said he wants to be here. Bring back players that want to play
Yeah.
for you because they're going to give the 110% effort. It's simple as that.
It is crazy how many people I've seen say they want to stay in Atlanta
Yeah, it's a good
because
place.
I've seen.
Just yeah,
I listen. I'm used to Atlanta having a relatively like mediocre
market
culture, but like now it's like Foye wants to come back. Russell
CP.
Gage has said he wants to be back. CP is constantly campaigning to
Dude, that
come
man,
back.
that man made Arthur blank his
So
whole freaking profile picture on Twitter. I think he's coming back.
yeah, yeah. I'm hoping and praying. So I'm with you. I think Foye Oluokun is absolutely the biggest priority because I think you can turn the defense over to him as kind of like the play caller in the middle, and I don't think you'll lose anything if you get rid of Deion Jones. I think Foye is slower, but like
Oh, but
Deion
you
doesn't
don't miss
seem to want to
tackles.
tackle. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think after Foye, the biggest one is probably Younghoe Koo
agreed.
because Younghoe is a legitimate weapon on special teams.
Yeah, he's great to say the least.
Yeah, he's and not just at like kicking field goals. He's one of the better onside kickers I've ever seen.
Dude, the man had three in
In
one game. Simple as that.
exactly, I
Simple as that.
that's a weapon to have considering how often the Falcons are playing from behind. Um, so and then after that, I think it comes down to kind of picking and choosing what you want to do. What do you think about? Um, do you think Cordero? What do you think about Cordero Patterson?
Dude, I think you've got to bring him back. I think is Mike Davis still on contract, right? Technically, was he 2 year, 1 year?
He's got one more year. Yeah,
I think you got to trade Mike Davis or release him if that's a possibility.
he's the most popular cut candidate that I've seen outside of. Yeah, he's the most
100%.
popular.
He's got to be gone. I would love to have CP back for sure. I think he would probably take a price cut too, the way he's talking.
Yeah,
Um, definitely want CP back though.
I think it comes down to price point for him, for me
Definitely,
personally,
100%.
because I can find another running back that can give me a facsimile of what he does.
The draft, simple as that.
Yeah, but there is something to be said for having people that want to be in Atlanta. So I'm with you. I just think if his contract starts to go up towards like $10 million a year,
Yeah.
or whatever, I think you got to walk away because you have limited money to play with as it is.
Yeah. They have his market value at 9.1.
Yeah, but if he takes the hometown get this for 7.5, I think you can make an argument there for like 2 to 3 years
Yeah.
because he's got limited wear and tear for the most part because he was never really a featured player.
Until now.
But
Yeah.
I would say, and you got to be cognizant of the fact that his workload kind of diminished as the season went on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think personally, if I was the Falcons GM, I'm looking to bring Russell Gage back before I look to bring Cordero because I think Russell will work in your offense no matter what other personnel you are able to bring in.
100, I agree with that 100%. And because if you lose Ridley, you can't lose Gage.
Yeah,
Can
because then you're
not.
starting from scratch.
Because then your number one receiver becomes Olamide Zaccheaus and
Who's
Frank
also a
Clark.
free agent.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I think you got to figure out the Calvin Ridley stuff first. If he wants to go,
Trade him.
go ahead, trade him, get your pick. If he wants to come back, welcome him back with open arms. And regardless, I think Russell Gage should be a priority because Russell Gage can be the number. You can use him as a number one while you break in a potential rookie wide receiver or another guy, or you can use him as a two
Definitely a
or a
good two.
three. Like
Solid
he
two.
can run routes anywhere. He's awesome.
He's great.
So I said the other thing outside of those guys, it's like there's really nobody else that I think is urgent. I wouldn't mind seeing Hayden Hurst back, but I
Oh,
understand that
yeah,
like
I'd love to have him back,
there's
but
really no use for him.
I don't think he's gonna stay. I think even if we offer him a contract, I think he'd just walk anyways. I don't think he'd
Yeah,
want to stay.
he kind of his snaps were definitely cut with the arrival of Kyle Pitts. But like
Yeah.
Deron Harmon, I take it or leave it. Fabian Moreau, take it or leave it. Um, and everybody else are just like role players that you didn't hear their names called. Um, like Josh Rosen or Brandon Copeland
Mm-hmm.
or Tajay Sharp. Steven Means needs to go because Steven Means has been around for way too long for a guy that
Garbage.
doesn't do anything.
Garbage.
Yeah, I've never seen him make an actual play on the ball.
Absolutely garbage. Yeah. So something about Hayden Hurst. So in 2020, when he was actually playing really good for us, he got about 70% of the snaps. Last year, he got 39%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
say it's an issue.
I would love to see
He
him
was
play
hurt
more.
though at one point.
Yeah, I would love to see him get more snaps though. I mean, I'd love for him to come
Yeah,
back. He had more touchdowns than Kyle Pitts, which is funny to say. Um,
well, Kyle was getting doubled by the end of the
he
year.
had Hayden Hurst had 26 receptions and 3 or more touchdowns.
So I think part of it was because he was hurt for like a decent chunk of the year. I think he also had like a at one point.
Yeah.
But I think if the price is right, I wouldn't hate bringing him back,
Oh,
especially since
definitely love
Arthur
to.
Smith loves to put two tight ends out there.
Hmm.
But like if he finds a greener pasture somewhere else, there's no issue in letting him walk.
Oh, I love Hayden Hurst. I'll cheer him on wherever he goes.
Absolutely. So looking at overall offense or all overall free agency, if we're looking at people to bring in from outside the organization, what's the number one position you're looking at?
Uh, well, of course, it depends on the draft and
Mm-hmm.
what we do there. That matters. That's first. That comes first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for me, it's probably an edge defender or a corner.
Really in
Or it's
free
probably an edge
agency?
defender or O lineman.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
probably I would say O line first because that's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
easier to sign.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, I want to address most of our problems in the draft.
Yeah.
That's the reason. It's like I don't know.
I got you. Yeah,
Unless there's a cheap-ish receiver out there. Um, I don't know.
well,
Maybe Sammy Watkins. I don't know.
receiver is
Everyone else
one of
does
those
work.
things. Receiver is one of those things you can address in the draft pretty easily because
Yeah,
the last few classes have just been incredibly deep.
this one's especially deep. But it's like
Yeah.
if you can get a wide receiver, if you can sign a wide receiver for cheap, maybe draft a
Mhm.
little later, that helps out because you can go grab what you want in the first round, no matter what.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the biggest position to look for is guard,
Definitely
because
guard. Yeah.
typically taking a guard towards the top of the draft is kind of like iffy, but also because this free agency class is very deep. Obviously, there's guys at the top like Brandon Scherf and like Laken Tomlinson, who the Falcons aren't going to touch with a 10-foot pole because they can't afford that. But I
Yeah.
mean, the farther down you go, you can find guys like Trey Turner, guys like
Billy
if you need a 1 year
Price.
stopgap, Richie Incognito. There's Austin. You got Austin Corbett, James Daniels, Connor Williams, Quentin Spain,
I
Tom
was like Quinn
Compton.
Spain. It's gonna be Quinn Spain. It's gonna be Quinn Spain.
You've got a ton of options for people. You can bring in just a veteran to
Just hold it.
use as kind of like a placeholder,
Mm-hmm.
or you can bring in a guy for 2 to 3 years and kind of like set him up on the left side so that Jalen Mayfield never has to see the field again.
Dude, if that man touches the field next year, he plays that bad. That man's gonna get freaking tomatoed off the field.
Well, I do believe that there's nowhere to go but up,
Yeah.
because
If
it's
he can
hard to
get
get worse than what he was last year.
if he gets worse than that, I'm gonna have to go sign up for football tryouts.
Yeah, I'm big enough I can push somebody back, hopefully.
Coach would be like,
But
why the hell are you here? Because have you seen Jalen Mayfield play? I can play like that. I can do that for cheaper. I'll sign for 20K. Done.
absolutely. So I think I'm with you. I also would like to see the Falcons. I'm assuming they'll do it, but they'll probably sign an extra safety just because as of now they only have Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins.
Yeah.
It depends on who they draft. If they draft Kyle Hamilton, obviously it becomes much less of a need. But the other big one, I would you could look at a cornerback to kind of, if you don't want to bring back Fabian, you can always look at somebody to kind of replace him. Jimmy Smith, Charvarius Ward. Um,
JC.
you can bring PJ Williams in as kind of like a hybrid guy. I think that would fit with Dean Pease.
Yeah. Looking at
And then
what's his face? I saw him a second ago. Frick. Some guy I really like. Where'd he go? Oh yeah, Eli Apple. Yeah. Yeah.
leave. We're ending the podcast after that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think that Jared has any business being on the internet right now.
You don't like Eli
I don't
Apple?
I don't I don't want to bring burnt toast into that locker room.
I get what you mean. He said it himself. We awoke his inner beast or whatever he said. He's gonna be great next year.
I smell a ton of cap
Oh yeah,
on
he's
his
so
on his part.
yeah.
I think
He's
if he wanted to be good, he would have done it by now.
he's dude on a stick.
He is terrible. So yeah, so I think it's really just gonna be plugging holes kind of wherever they pop up, finding a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of 1 year contracts. I'm assuming they'll look at some kind of running back. Hopefully they look at a ton of offensive linemen. Defensively on the edge, I those are always the worst because edge defenders get paid so freaking much. Um, obviously they can't afford like the JPPs, the Von Millers, the Chandler Jones, the Jadavion Clowneys. Apparently, our old friend Tack McKinley's a free agent, so we
Oh, let's
should
do
run the
it.
other way.
I'm in.
A guy like Solomon Thomas wouldn't
That's
be
what I
a
was looking at.
terrible upside play
No, I was looking
just
at that.
because he was top five pick. I mean, it's worth a shot. And the other big one I've seen is people have thought maybe Harold Landry because he's got ties to Dean
Yeah,
Smith. But there's a non-zero chance he's way out of our price range.
Lorenzo Carter.
I mean, hey, I know that coming into the draft, it looked like he could be interesting. I wouldn't hate it.
He
We could always
fits.
bring back Charles Harris because Charles Harris just randomly decided to go kaboom.
That's true.
All right. Well, I think we've kind of exhausted the free agent talk, and we weren't necessarily supposed to do this, but Jared had pitched this idea before, and I think as a audible, it could be very interesting.
Audible.
Would you people out there in the audience want to see us live mock draft? Well, live record
I would.
You want to see it? I know I want to see it. So,
Let's
Jared,
see.
why don't you pull up your preferred mock draft
Yes.
machine
I'm gonna hit it with a
and
classical PFF.
PFF? Okay. And once you get it set, just share your screen up, and we'll get it cracking.
Alrighty, ready to go.
Let's do it.
All right, let's hit it with the good old start button. Oh, that was fast. All right, so Kyle Hamilton at 1, Derek Stingley at 2, Aiden at 3, George at 4, Tavon, Sam Howell at 6. I would love to watch that happen.
Jeez.
I would love to
Yeah,
watch that
no,
happen.
Carolina would burn itself to the ground.
Let's look at a trade. Oh, so we could trade back to 12 here. Who's on the
Yep.
board? Charles Cross, Evan Neal.
I'll say Evan Neal's there. I know that.
Evan Neal's there, but it's like how valuable is tackle at this point? Like it's
Yeah.
nice, but it's like if you trade back to 12, one of these two probably gonna be there. If not, Linderbaum's definitely gonna be there. Um, let's see what Minnesota wants for 12. Let's see if we can take 12 and a second from them at the minimum. And let's see if they give us a third. They should give us a third for that. No? Okay, you're gay. All right. Uh,
We're gonna have to edit that part out. Dear Lord.
yeah, that is facts.
Can't have that kind of stuff on the internet.
Wasn't even thinking about that when I said it. We'll toss in a late round draft pick then.
All right, so
The
you're trying to get
third.
their first 3 picks?
First three. We're gonna take their first three. Actually, no, we'll take the first.
No way.
We don't need the first. We just need their first or second. That's it. That's simple. That's easy as that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's easy as that. That's all we need. Just for the mock, it's all we need. Probably
Wow.
real life, you
Kobe
probably need a
Dean.
little more. Ooh.
So
Maybe to the
I know
Broncos.
Charles
But
Cross, N'Kobe.
Evans slid all the way to 11.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen in real life, but
He'll
all
probably
right,
go number
interesting.
1.
I
Um,
think the funniest part is the fact that the first QB off the board was Sam Howell. But
it'll definitely be Malik Willis. There's no doubt about that.
yeah. All right, so we're
Honestly, here
looking at the board.
we're looking at the board, and I'm liking Tyler Linderbaum here. It's either him,
Linderbaum. All right.
it's either Linderbaum, or you reach and go Drake London.
You reach? I don't know, man.
I think it's
Drake
a
might
reach
be
at
the best.
12.
I've
At
seen
12, I think
Drake
it's a reach.
mocked at 7.
I think he's outside the. I think once you get outside the top 10, I think it's worth it.
Well, you're outside the top 10 right now.
Yeah, but I still think for the Falcons it's a reach.
Okay. Okay.
For a team like the Browns or the Jets, not a reach. For a team like the Falcons, you got bigger needs to fill. We got to protect Matt Ryan. We're taking Tyler
That
Linderbaum.
is true. Okay. I don't hate that pick.
We need someone
Matt
to
Corral just went first round.
David Ojobo, Andrew Booth. That's a great pick. That's a good one too, right there.
Devin Lloyd. Yeah, Devin Lloyd, Drake London.
Uh,
Corral to the
Jordan
Saints.
Davis, right there to the Pats. There, Jameson to the Titans. That could be a great. If they'll have AJ, Julio, and Jameson. That's
Yeah.
deadly. If Julio can
Yeah.
get
As
back
long
on
as everybody
track,
stays healthy.
yeah. If Julio gets back,
Kenny
Malik
Pickett to
Willis
the
to the
Bengals. Wait, hold
line.
on. Go back up. Hold on. Go back up. That is the worst pick I have ever seen in mock draft history. These machines.
I think we should just restart this one, bro. There's no way. There's
That's a
no way.
lie. That's a lie.
Unless
The
Joe Burrow
Bengals.
retires.
The
Oh,
Bengals said Joe Burrow.
this is
Never
still
heard
my
of him
favorite thing ever.
before.
Every position.
It's
Straight up
valid
every
though.
position. They didn't even start listing them. They just said no. They need everything.
All right. Well, we are left with the hand that the computer has dealt us.
So we're looking here. So my top 2 here, definitely between I like Sky Moore. I've seen him play. Great.
Okay.
Lewis Seen, not a bad option.
Yeah, I imagine you
Daxton
would say
Hill,
that.
he's got talent. Daxton Hill's got
Very versatile.
very. And you also can't go wrong with Christian Harris. If Deion Jones leaves or we get rid of him, I would actually love to take Christian Harris.
Absolutely.
But I think Christian might slip a little bit, and we're actually gonna go here, and we're gonna address this wide receiver. I don't want to take one in the first because we don't need it that badly, but we do need one. Either way, we're gonna take Sky Moore.
Sounds good. I like that. I like
They still got
that.
another second. I forgot about that. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
actually, you've got two
I've got three total.
because you've got the Titans one too. You picked up a bunch of them.
Yeah. So I've got three total. That was number one. We're sitting here. Who? Oh, the command. Nah, screw the Commanders. This is a stupid name. So dumb. We're at 44. Man, honestly, you're sitting here.
All
I
right. So is
don't
it you've offense so
guard.
far?
I've taken
You
Took
went
off.
center and wide receiver.
Yeah. I was thinking a little bit of DB. I don't know
Well, I
much about
mean,
either of these DBs. I was
so
thinking at
I
the
know
top.
Jalen Petrie is a safety more than anything, and I know that Kyler Gordon has. I've seen him mocked. They seem to like him. I think he's good in man. He doesn't have a lot of ball skills,
No, I need
but
ball skills. We need ball skills in this team. All right.
oh,
Well, you know what? I'm gonna actually reach here, and this team is gonna need a running back if we don't have Cordell Patterson. We're gonna take
mhm.
Mr. Kenneth Walker.
Okay.
Talent.
So we
Put
see
talent
Jared right here
with build
loading up on
defense.
offense.
But usually I don't do. You see my draft. You should go defense, which is crazy. Um, Now we're really stuck in the
Dude,
poop
Travis Jones could be
because
interesting.
you really would you?
They really like him. They really like him. He's got a little bit of juice in the pass rush game, but he's
A
as
run
of right
stopper?
now more of like a run stopper. But it's like there's room for more.
I feel you. Just gotta tap the potential.
Exactly.
Honestly, I don't mind that. I am looking at a Leo Chinaldo,
Yeah, I think that would not be a bad pickup at all, considering.
especially if you lose Dion. I think Leo Chinal is a career addition to
Yeah,
this team. And now our
and you
third
get to
round
pick
pick.
right at 72.
Look who's still here, Mr. Brian Asamoah. Oh man, Quay Walker. If Calvin Ridley leaves, a Sky Moore and Wandell Robinson combo. Hmm, beautiful. Honestly though, I do like the name Boy Mafi, but just too early.
Okay.
Just too early.
I don't know. He
I think it's too
in
early.
the third round. I think that
That's
in
my
real
third, my
life,
second. Oh, it's the third
this
round.
this is your third round.
Oh, I can't
I
see.
I think Mafe might be gone earlier than that.
I got put on the spotlight and I can't remember.
A lot of guys. I'll say a lot of people like his athletic tools. He showed out at I think it was the Senior Bowl. He's going to test off the charts at the combine. Let's keep it that way.
So is Jordan Davis. Can't wait to watch that boy run. That boy is massive and
It's going to be the
runs.
first time the internet is melted down
No
over a
questions
5 foot
asked. Bailey Zapp in
beauty.
the fourth. No questions asked.
Yes, sir.
No
I like
questions
that pick.
asked.
That's my favorite pick so far.
This is a bit of really weird mock. Honestly, that was first like 7 picks. Like it kind of threw me off. This is a really weird. I don't. A really weird mock. I don't know.
Well, yeah, considering the Bengals were like first round, almost won the Super Bowl. There was one big problem,
Yeah.
and it was clearly Joe Burrow.
Dude, Joe Burrow sucks.
We must get Kenny Pickett, the
We
future
must.
backup.
The next goat. Here I'm gonna take a safety. Because we're gonna need one. Need something in the secondary either way. Take my boy Damani. He needs to be
Damani
demonic on the
Richardson.
field.
Say it's hard to go wrong with an SEC talent, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. They've played they've played talent and they know how to. So
Say
Kobe
they've
McClain is a sleeper. But yeah. Oh yeah, round 6.
take the punter.
Oh, dude, I think we need
Go
one.
up. Go get Ariza. Go get the punt god.
Ariza?
Yes, get the punt god.
Oh man, who else is here though? Dude.
Nobody. No, the punt god.
Oh, Justin Schaefer.
He is the
BJ
most
Dale
valuable
though.
person. Shout out Malachi Carter.
Okay, Carter, worst offense in the league, country.
Bro, I promise I can find a worse offense.
Trust me, it's
There we
called
go.
Southern University.
There you go.
I want to rerun this one again sometime. This is doo doo.
It's something. It's
Double
it's kind of
punter?
hard to.
Double
I was
punter?
just say double up on the punter? Question mark?
Zamir White the seventh?
This is you're still in round
Travis
6 as
died.
of
That
right
dude
now.
transferred. Percy Buck, that's my boy. Is this their? Oh, it's Western Michigan. Oh, you can't. You gotta support the armed forces. Detroit Jackson. At this point,
I
I
don't
don't
hate
know.
that. I don't
I
hate
have no
that. He
idea
knows
what's
how to
going
fly a plane.
on because this has been
Well,
such a
this is your pick in
weird,
the 7th.
weird mock. Oh, this dude went off against Georgia. Let's get him. That dude's clearly good. He destroyed Georgia. You don't need a tight end for backups because Lee Smith retired. Hayden's probably gonna
Of
walk.
course.
They gotta someone
And
back
Jaden
up.
Graham's a free
You
agent
can't
too.
carry it all.
Yeah.
Stay in your seat. Preparing our results. That's a beautiful trade.
Bada boom.
But I do think that was definitely probably one of my weirdest drafts. I've never actually had anything like this.
Yeah, that was unique to say the least.
Very. I'm gonna fly through
All
it.
right. Huh?
I'm gonna fly through one real quick. Oh, give me cross. Easy. Boom.
Speed run.
Speed round. Come on.
Only take the top person on the board.
I've got 3 seconds to choose my pick. Devontae
1,
White. Done. Easy.
2. Yeah, that's all right.
This one looks more real now.
1, 2,
Sky Moore.
3.
Ooh, this is money. This is more realistic.
We'd have to look back just to make sure.
Mafi. Oh, 52 minutes. Oh. Bro, is he on max speed or not, bro? Holy. No, it's not. Oh, Dylan Parham. Beast.
Yeah.
I wish the draft actually went like this, in real life. It'd be nice. Instead of sitting there for like 3 hours to watch 2 picks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Son Haskins. Sleeper.
Yeah, 100%.
James Cook's more of a sleeper, though. But
Yes, we know. Go
Oh,
to
there
bed
he
cuddling your
is.
the punt god.
The 4th round. Or 5th, whatever round that
I
was.
think I think you got him 5th, which I think is actually where he's going to go because he had like an 86-yard punt at one point
Okay,
past
that's a
season.
great pick, then.
Yeah, I think his net average was in like the high 50s.
Yeah,
The
go.
dude is incredible.
Bro, that's crazy. Actually, no, he did not know he was that good.
Yeah, no, it's one of the reasons why he's actually got some hype around him
Wow.
because he's like a legitimate weapon,
Good for him.
not like a you get a punter to get a punter. It's more of like a you get the punter because the dude can flip the field from like the 10.
To the friggin' 10.
Yeah, like he can go.
Good
He
for
can
him.
literally play 20 to 20.
That's a good mock in there. I like that one.
All right, that is a good mock, but we do have one other person on this show, and he is coming for his chance. So once Jared figures out how to stop, there we go.
Oh, money.
Took him long enough.
Okay. Just call me out.
All right, here we go. Can you see the screen?
Hold up. Yes.
Okay. Advanced settings. What is this? I'm just gonna use the defaults.
Yeah, that's
Although I
yeah.
think
The first one I kind of play around with. That's why I was so fricked up. But because it's fun to kind of look at different ones. But the last one I ran was on default, so it'd be more realistic.
all right, here we go.
You're just probably like
We're just gonna go ahead and start the draft. So Sauce Gardner Cross. This one looks infinitely more realistic, although Stingley, I don't know if he'll go that high. But right here at number 8, I see a person that I don't think I can pass up, and it is George Karlaftis. We'll see what the trades are. Why would I trade with the Rams?
unless you get Jalen Ramsey.
Oh my. Okay, we're gonna ignore all of those people, and we're gonna go with George Karlaftis.
Don't mind that.
I say
Can't go wrong.
gotta get the edge up somehow, you know. So sitting at pick 40, don't necessarily want to double dip on the D line, but
Ooh, with Devontae Wyatt, bro.
Devontae Wyatt is quite good.
Other than that,
Definitely very similar people to what you were looking at.
yeah, it's the same exact setting. It's probably pretty close.
Yeah. I think right here, I don't know, Bernard Raymond could be an interesting developmental tackle, but I feel like second round you've
It's
got a
not
lot more
worth.
needs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Zion Johnson
big boy.
because he can play. He took snaps at center at the Senior Bowl, and he's already a good guard. So I think him and Lindstrom on the guards, I think is going to be the move there.
Big boys.
And at the end of the second,
Ooh, I know what I want. I already see his name. Yeah,
I think I'm going to go Jalen Tolbert here.
one more down.
Nah,
Justin Ross.
man, that's Justin Ross is great, but his injuries scare me. I think that where is he? Jalen Tolbert. I think he's gonna be one of those guys, man. I think he's a good pickup. So right here, considering he has dropped this much, I'm taking Jalen Petrie
Look for
because
James Cook.
he can he can play anywhere and everywhere. And I like the idea of kind of having that guy towards the back. I think him and Richie Grant can be a dynamic duo back there.
Sky Moore's falling.
Sky Moore is indeed falling. Let me make sure because shout out Montana State used to live near there. 6'4", 235, converted running back into a linebacker.
Makes sense.
Ooh, oh, we'll wait on that just a little bit. I think we're gonna roll with the Montana State boy, and not because I'm biased or in any way, shape, or form. I want that speed on the outside.
There,
So,
James
all
Cook.
right. I was gonna say to just satisfy Jared's obsessive
He just
man
left. He just got
crush.
drafted. I just watched him get drafted. He's right there.
Oh, yep, he went
The
to the
Giants.
Giants.
Third
Oh
place,
well.
Saquon.
I wonder how we'll
Oh,
survive. Oh no. I don't have a halfback yet, do I?
no.
All right, then we're gonna roll with Jerome Ford.
There's a forward or Zap, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was looking at that, but I kind of want to keep the mock draft a little different. I don't want to take the same people as you do.
Makes sense.
So, although the deeper we get, the less I know about these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, gonna have to do a little bit of scouting. Um, okay, so if I was on God, no questions asked, Matt Areza, but we're gonna try to make it a little bit different. So we're gonna keep scrolling. Let's see. Hold on, give me one second. So I picked up the edge rusher,
And
picked
then
up
receiver.
guard and a receiver. We've got a corner slash safety, and then a linebacker and a running back. So I think now is about the time. What are we looking at with Noah Ellis? 360?
67. That's a
Say
rush
less.
on
Give me
right there.
him. Fed on
Shit.
Idaho potatoes.
What's his name?
Noah Ellis.
Noah Ellis? I'm gonna look at a picture of this boy.
I'll say that boy has never met a meal he did not want seconds of. That is for sure.
Take a picture
You
of
know
him?
what? I think I'm liking it. It looks like Luke Fortner could be the pick here.
I can't find a
He's
picture of this man. He's not real.
So I'm going to go
Oh, here
Luke
we go.
Fortner here. I'm going to go Luke Fortner here because I think bringing in a center for competition with Hennessy and Dahlman, I think, is a decent pick right there. Um, and then oh, I never really got a corner, did I? That's not ideal. Um, we're gonna go into the seventh. We're gonna pick up Kennedy Brooks for some
Double running
competition
back.
at running back. Competition, bring him in because as of now we really
Yeah.
don't have much else. So I'm gonna be honest, not a big fan of this draft for myself. Um, I think I would have preferred to find a corner, and I know it says Jalen Petrie is a corner, but realistically, he's more of a safety. At least that's what he's listed as. But I mean, I like the top three and then the top four, and I like all these players individually, but like getting a corner early, I think is going to be important for the team.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
I think Tolbert at the end of the second wouldn't be terrible. You might be able to find him in the third. Zion Johnson, I think, would be a great pick at 40. If Karloftis falls to 8, I think no questions asked. You have to go with him, unless like Kyle Hamilton's still there too.
Yeah. 100% agree. 100%.
All right, so that is going to do it for us. We have today. Jared, do you have anything you want to say to the beautiful, wonderful people out there?
Rob Manfred, please.
I hate to say it, but there's no way he gets fired because he's doing his job the way that it should be, which is he is looking out for the owners.
I want MLB back, and now.
Yes, no, I'm with you there, man. Every day that I wake up and Freddie Freeman isn't signed is a sad day. So we're working on like 2 months of just sadness because of that. But anyway,
I'm in deep.
um, deep sadness. Anyway, I need all of y'all out there that are watching to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Give us some ideas that you might want to see us talk about. Make sure you subscribe and get your notifications so you know whenever we drop these episodes. And just have in general a very happy day. And we will see you, wonderful people, later on.